Hello everyone and welcome to Nerd Goblin Art. I'm Lula. It is Froggy FriYAY and I've just had this mould arrive. It is a skull with a froggy on it. It's only a diddly one and I'm going to use some olive green by Let's resin just to burnish in the frog, and then I'm going to use pearl white by Just Resin to fill the mould to give that skull a skull-likey type colour. So we're going to turn the mould inside out. Oh, careful, careful. Don't be too shocked. Don't be too shocked. But there we go. We can see the frog clearly. So I'm going to burnish this in and I'm going to be as careful as possible. But of course, there's going to be a potential little bit of the pigment displacement when we put the mould back to its correct way. So we'll just keep an eye on that, and I'll be using a wet wipe anyway, just to get rid of any of the powder where I don't want it to be. So it's not a big mould. Now, I was probably tricked again by Temu, and I think I thought it might have been a little bit bigger, but quite honestly I think this size is absolutely wonderful. I'm quite happy with that. And there's his froggy body. We do like a froggy body, don't we, on a Froggy Friday? So that colour's looking lovely, and it is important to note as well that this is a matte mould. I don't know at this point whether I am going to be shining it up at all. We'll see once it is out, because I've never poured it before, so we're going to be seeing it for the first time together. So we will see how we go. So I need some epoxy resin, which means magic, because we need gloves. Yes, it's time to go and play. Right then, I am using Apex resin from Arrtx, surprisingly, and it is a 1-to-1 epoxy resin. The temperatures went tumbling in the UK, so my resin is looking very bubbly, and I really must get into the habit of giving my resin a bit of a warm bath before using it. But I'm definitely going to be using the debubbler today, so that is all going to be fine, hip and groovy. So I have used my mixer to save my wrists, and I'm using the dual head mixer from Resiners. It is absolutely awesome and I do highly recommend it. And I'll also be using my debubbler from Resiners, which is really cool as well. So it doesn't take a lot of this pigment to get to where you want the resin. I've split the cups because I'm pouring the resin into the debubbler, and you know what, I have not found an issue using paper cups in my debubbler as I did in the last model. So yeah, so it's been in the debubbler, and I decided after I took it out, then I wanted to add some glitter. So this is number 10 from Into Resin. It's the non-sink glitter, and I'm just going to very carefully, very gently stir it in a little bit, because I don't want to be introducing too many bubbles. Now, I'm going to be doing a couple of moulds. It's not just this mould. Renee, one of my subscribers, has asked me to make a specific sort of frog, so of course I'm going to oblige, because it was a great idea and I kind of wanted to do one anyway. And so that's why I have plenty of resin. The skull with the frog is quite, like I said, it's a diddly one, so it's not going to take a great deal. I think in all it takes around 3 fluid ounces, but don't quote me on that, because you know what I'm like with numbers. I rarely take it in and then I forget anyway. I'm not going to pre-spray this with Isopropanol Alcohol, although there's a lot of detail in there, because I didn't want to chance marking, taking any of the burnishing away from the froggy. But once the froggy is more or less covered, I will spray a little bit in, and as you can see, I'm giving the mould a little massage and a tap and you know, little tappy wappy and all that sort of stuff, just to encourage any bubbles away from that detail. The front of it got quite a bit in there. Obviously it's a skull, but the skull also has I think it has some sort of embellishment on the eyebrows, or maybe he has eyebrows, who knows, but you know, we'll see. I kind of remember the picture, but I like doing that game with Temu where I don't look at my order, because it's a nice surprise. It's like every day is Christmas when you order from Temu, because it takes a little while to come and then you forget what on earth you ordered anyway. So yeah, it'll be a nice surprise to see what it properly looks like when it comes out. Oh my goodness, and I really like this colour. It is quite shimmery. I think it's got a pearlescence to it, but as I said, because it's a matte mould, we might not get a lot of that from it, but we'll see. We can, you know, we'll see if we actually want to give it a UV shining at all, or even a varnish with the paint on varnish. Whatever, we'll see when it comes out. So just cleaning my stirring stick there, and I've got plenty of resin from as far as I can see, and I am doing yes, I know you're sick of seeing them, I'm doing another Millennium Falcon as well, only because they have been incredibly popular in the shop and there are none left currently in the shop, and I've been trying to make more. I should really get more than one mould, thinking about it, and I thought I did order an extra one, but apparently I didn't. I just thought about it and then did nothing about it, because I'm talented that way. So just gave that a spray of Isopropanol Alcohol, and if you are doing these types of mould, it is a really good idea to not fill them absolutely completely and give them a stretch a little, you know, and get your silicone tool down into there, because this the Millennium Falcon, it has quite a lot of detail in it, to be fair. And because these are going into the shop, and I've got a Christmas market, it's by the shop, it's in the arcade where my shop is. I say my shop, the shop that I have a space in. They're doing a Christmas market within the arcade space. So myself and Mr. Goblin decided to take part, because we want to make some extra pennies for Christmas. And I need to make sure I got more of these made up, because they have been very, very popular. So just cleaning that away. There we go. And just getting rid of any overspill. So I just took a few moments to clean out the mould. I think where I put it away, there was lots of little bits of green resin still inside, of dried resin from where I last made him up, and then it all fell in. And I usually clean my moulds after all the uses, but apparently I just put it back in its baggie. So I've just cleared that out, and with this mould, this is the Into Resin Crystal Froggy, and I adore this frog. It is my favourite. It is my favourite mould. It's actually taken over from the little turtle one by Into Resin. So yeah, I'm in love. So with that particular mould, where your bubbles like to hang around is under the chin and in the neck area. So always make sure, fill it so far, because it's a handmade mould, don't go spraying isopropyl alcohol inside it at all. Especially, it's not going to hurt it, but it will reduce the amount of uses you'll inevitably, you'll get out of it inevitably. So that's why using the silicone tool and making sure I'm using the debubbler. And the Apex resin is really good at degassing anyway. So I've got some Epsom bath salt. I haven't got quite enough resin, because I would have obviously had enough had I not wanted to fill up another Millennium Falcon. So because this is white and I want a snowman froggy, yes, I was hoping somebody would guess. It's a snowman it's going to be a snowman froggy. I figured I'd use the Epsom salts because they're really handy, and because they have a little bit of a twinkle to them as well, I find anyway. So I'm filling up the mould with some Epsom salts. I could have put in some of my scrap resin, scrappy bits, but it's all very colourful, and I was a little bit concerned that if it goes to the bottom, we'll be able to see them in the final product if they like go right to the bottom of the frog. So that's why I thought, you know what, let's get the Epsom salt out, and this stuff lasts forever and it isn't expensive, so it's always handy to have sitting on your shelf. And it's just doing what I'm doing. I'm just very carefully pushing it down, and I'll make sure to keep giving it a little bit of a tap as well, just to encourage any bubbles up that may have been formed because of putting the Epsom salt in. And I'm going to scrape the last little bits of resin out of these cups now. And as much as I love my stirring stick, because of the shape of it, I really struggle with these cups specifically. So I'm going to switch over to one of the silicone tools, which is, you know, the flat-headed sort, like the lollipop stick shape, and that really gets down to the bottom edges of the cup, so I can make sure I'm getting the very last morsels. I really didn't want to have to mix up like 1 ounce of resin. I really didn't want to have to. It was either this, or I could have just let the very last little bit of the mould, I could have just waited for it to cure, and I could have just topped it up at the bottom, perhaps with some UV resin. But again, effort. So I'm happy to spray the top of the Into Resin mould with some Isopropanol Alcohol. I have found that it doesn't tend to do any harm, but you know, don't quote me on that. You do you, and I'll do me. But I bought it, so it's not something they sent me. So these are cured, and that is looking awesome. I'm very happy. I'm going to be putting the little eye hooks into the ends of them. I'm just making up a few of them at a time, as I said, to go in the shop. And that is looking awesome and very cool. I quite like it in the white. So out comes the Into Resin Froggy. Got a little bit of overpour by then, just because it's looking a little bit sharp. I just wanted to move it away a bit. Don't want it scratching me or cutting me, because, you know, I've been on quite a good streak lately. So I'm just gonna pop that little froggy out of there. And he's so beautiful, so pretty. I wish the camera was picking up the little bit of the glitter and the little bit of sparkle in there, but it's late in the evening, so my lights aren't, you know, in the natural light it would probably show up all that sparkle, but he is looking absolutely beautiful. So the new mould, let's check this guy out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one looks like. Skulls are for life, they're not just for Halloween, so there you go. And I know we're coming into holiday season with Christmas, but we're mid-November, so I can still get away with this. But isn't he gorgeous? Look at his little face, and he's a laughing skull. I like his chin. It looks like he's a laughing skull. But that froggy, he is so handsome, and he's got a froggy bum. I very much like this. Really, really lovely, and I'm quite chuffed with my burnishing job as well. I managed to get it quite clear around the skull, and that pearl white is beautiful. Look at him. Right then. So, he's just so lovely, isn't he? Really, really lovely. Really handsome little frog. Yes, he is. Right, so I am going to be turning my little gentle froggy into a snow frog. Yes, Renee, I said I would, and I am, so here we go. I have a little scarf. No, I didn't. I cannot knit, I cannot crochet. it is witchcraft. I wish I could. These are from Amazon, the little top hats, and they're sold separately. You don't get them together, but if I can find a link, I will obviously put it down below. So I'm just colouring the eyes with my Arrtx Simtap acrylic marker. They are fabulous little markers, especially because of the brush tip on them. But try as I might today, I was a little bit, I think it's because it's late in the day when I'm finishing off these froggies, but that's absolutely fine. There's never need to worry if you happen to make a mistake or go into areas you're not wanting to, because all you need to do is spray a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and you can use your micro brushes or cotton buds or anything like that to remove any of the acrylic pen from areas you're not happy with. I was wondering if one of the little crowns was going to fit on the skull froggy, and it actually does. So that's really lovely. I was a little bit curious about this, so I'm just using a little bit of super glue to put that into place. It is at this point that I've kind of decided I don't mind this looking matte, but we'll have a proper look at it towards the end, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. Look at his crown. Oh my goodness, he's so lovely. I wasn't going to colour the eyes, and I decided after the crown went on, I was like, yeah, do you know what, let's colour his eyes. I think it looks good. He'll look good with his eyes coloured. So let me know in the comments, guys. You'll have a better viewing of it, I promise, towards the end of the video. But let me know if you think that it should be varnished at all, or maybe just the frog should be varnished, or maybe just just let me know. See what you think, and you know, if I get enough comments, I will possibly try it out, and then I'll share the pictures in the communities page and on my Facebook channel as well. Facebook channel, is that what we call them now? I'm barely on there, but I do have a page there. So yes, Facebook page, that's the word. But if I remember, I will post on there as well. But let me know, and of course, as well, I'm wondering about the eyebrows, or whatever they are on that skull. So as I said, using a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, just sprayed on my mat, and using the micro brushes just to tidy up the eyes a little bit. I was a little bit, like I said, I think it was the, later in the day for me, and my eyes just get very tired in the evenings. So there we are. It's nice and easy to tidy up, and once they are had a dry, I do give them a little dot of some white, but I don't believe I filmed that, because I think it was afterwards that I remembered, just before I was going to do the glamour shots. So with the scarf, I'm not going to glue the scarf onto Mr. Froggy, but I am going to use the glue gun for the scarf, and it would come off easily regardless with using the glue gun, but I wanted the option to be able to easily remove it if need be. And I'm just giving it a little fold to make him look all snuggly. I did consider painting on some coal for buttons in front of him, but the scarf takes up plenty of that space, and I'm going to use the super glue to attach the top hat. I managed to catch my finger as well with the glue gun. I'm very good at doing stuff like that. So I'm going to use a little bit of the super glue, and I would like to report it's probably the first time of using this super glue I actually don't manage to glue my fingers. That is improvement. That is making improvements, isn't it? So just a few moments holding anything in place, and it is basically instant super glue. It is really great stuff. So that is looking awesome, but he's missing something. You know, I didn't want to like paint on the end of his nose with the idea of a carrot type thing. But what I'm thinking about is I'm just going to top up the black on these eyes. There we go, that's a bit better. Happy with that. But what I think he's missing, and I could try and make like a pipe, you know, like I got a cocktail stick. I could snip it down, and I've got some scrappy pieces. Now, if my brain had been properly switched on, my jar of buttons is on my desk, and instead of using the scrappy bits which I glue together over the cocktail stick, I could have used a button. I've got shapes, all amazing shapes and sizes sitting in that jar, and it probably would have been a lot easier. But here we are, and this is just as good. And I'm using the glue gun as well to create basically like a thicker stem. I think it's called, I don't know what you call it on a pipe, the pipe bit, the long bit, whatever. But it also adds a little bit more of securing it to the scrappy pieces. And once it's dry, it doesn't take too long for the glue gun, for the glue gun glue to completely dry. And I'm just using the same acrylic pen just to colour it all over in the black, and then I can use some UV resin just to pop it into place. I could have used the super glue, but I think the UV resin is a bit more secure for stuff like this, and I was able, you know, to build up a slight little part of the lip where the frog's mouth is, just to make sure that it's not really going to go anywhere, and it just takes a few moments and it's all good. And then once I'm happy that it is nicely in place, I can come back to my pen and just make sure any bits that I might have taken away with my fingers is covered up, and it's looking really, really cool. I'm really pleased with that. I knew I wanted to make a snowman froggy today, a snow froggy, but the pipe bit was just one of those last moment thoughts, and you know, that's why I guess that it wasn't as well thought out as it could have been, but I'm really happy with it. I think it's funny. So as I said, just covering him back over a little bit, and there we are. I'm going to bring you down. Let's calm down so we can have a proper look-see. So it's nice to see them at this angle, isn't it? So check them out. Aren't they lovely? I'm so pleased with these this week. Ha 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 ha. He is such a laughing skull. There's not many skulls that I'm massively fond of other than one I made, but I really like his chin. And his eyebrows, he's got like eyebrows. I was wondering whether I should like rub and buff on them to maybe tie it in with the frog a little bit, but I don't know. But again, let me know in the comments. And, you know, I can always, like I said, take a picture or whatnot and add it to communities. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Please check out the Froggy Friday playlist down below. So many wonderful artists take part every week and come up with new things. Love you and stay weird.
Stay weird, stay wild, no need to fear. She molds her dreams with resin and clay. Whimsical wonders brighten the day. Stay wonderfully weird, let your colors unfold. Frogs and dragons, stories untold. Crocodiles dance in a resin sea. Stay weird, She paints the night with the dragon's flame. In her hands the world's never the same. Frogs in hats and crocodiles grin, each creation a spark where dreams begin. Stay